Thanks for the support as a channel member, FM Creators. Here we go then, folks. You saw the finale to this year's Non-League to Legend yesterday. In today's video, we've holidayed 5 years forward into the future, and we're going to check in on Kettering, Peterborough and Arsenal to see what happened next and see if all my teams have been destroyed and fallen back to where they were when we found them. I hope not. Hello and welcome to the final part in this year's Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up in this episode, as already mentioned, we're checking back over the last 5 years to see what's gone on with the teams we've managed throughout this save and say goodbye, really, because this is it. Non-League to Legend finished for another year. I'm going to say this up front because a lot of you won't make it to the end of the video because that's how YouTube works. Thank you for all the support on Non-League to Legend this year. It has been my most popular series that I've ever done. To be averaging 15,000 views an episode pretty much all the way through, certainly until we won the Champions League. I know a few people dropped off beyond that because they didn't want another season, and that's fine, but I've never had a series that has still had more than 10,000 viewers daily beyond like episode 10 before. This has been a huge leap forward in terms of growth for the channel, popularity for the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched. And I really, really hope you stick around on the channel and enjoy what comes next. The home series is now 7 years in, and it's awesome. If you've not been watching that, you should go and check that out. That one's a lot of fun. And very, very, very soon, probably Monday, it might be a week on Monday. I'm recording this in advance and don't know for sure, but probably this Monday, Born in the USA starts, which is going to be, it's like a cross between what I did with Apollon last year and American Save. We're starting in America with Bourne Football Club, a sister club of the club we managed here on YouTube last year in England, and it's lots of fun story elements. It's going to be a whole thing. It's going to be the best save I do this year, I think. So hopefully you'll give that a try on Monday as well. But if you don't come back now until next year's Non-League to Legend, like I say, thanks for watching. I'll see you in November. Because I know some of you do that, and I don't get it. Right, let's check in on my former clubs. We're going to go through them in order. We're going to start with Kettering. Let's see what's gone on with Kettering since I left. So, first thing I'm noticing here is Kettering are in League One, which is absolutely awesome. So we joined them there. Was that our first season? No, that would have been our first season. So the 2020-21 season is when we took over, got promoted from the National League North, and then also got immediately promoted from the National League into the Football League. And then we left partway through this season, and they got promoted from League Two into League One at that point as well. But I left then, they came straight back down, and then I thought it was all going to fall apart. They spent a long time down in League Two, the best part of 10 years rebuilding and regrouping. They got close a couple of times to a return to League One. They even went up that season in third place, but came back down in 22nd. This 2 years ago, they've gone back up in first place again, and it looks like once again they've come back down in 22nd place. So they're close. They're like a yo-yo team between the conference, between League Two and League One, which is infinitely better than they were when I arrived in National League North. Is there any of my boys still here? Probably not at this point. It's more than 10 years since I left now. The chances of there being anybody that was part of my squad still here is pretty unlikely. Yeah, it's all new now. But there you go. That's Kettering. Kettering did all right. Let's see how Posh are getting on. So Peterborough are still in the Premier League, which is awesome. So again, I joined Peterborough when they were down in League One. We got promoted. Were we in League One? We were in League One because we got promoted from League One into the Championship, then got promoted from the Championship into the Premier League, where we stayed. We did get that 5th place finish once, which looks like that's still the best finish they've ever had. I've just noticed who's back. That's a beautiful thing. And then it's not Philip Cocu still involved. It's Russell Martin, former Peterborough United captain, is back as manager. And they're just hovering around as a nice little mid-table side, which is awesome. So Russell Martin, this is the guy, isn't it? Yeah, there he is. Look, former Posh captain, spent years at Norwich, and now as a manager, cool, he's done the rounds a little bit. So as a manager, he's done McDonald's, he's done Swansea, He's done Hibs, Ross County, Bristol City, Celtic, and then left Celtic to take over at Posh. How he's still only 49 years old in 2035, I don't really understand. How old would I be? When's that? Russell Martin's my age. Russell Martin's younger than me. I find that really hard to believe. Really hard to believe that he's 4 years younger than I am. That's unacceptable. But Jack Joyce only ever played once more for England. He'd played when we had him at Arsenal in the last season. He played 2 games for England and had 2 goals. But it looks like he joined Posh very shortly afterwards. So there's his season at Arsenal where he was incredible. Went back to Manchester City, never really got back in the side again. And then Posh have picked him up for an absolute bargain of £24.5 million. And he's just been a regular Premier League goal scorer since. How this man, during this run, has only played once for England and scored and not got back in, I do not know. He was brilliant for us at Arsenal. He was brilliant for me at Posh when we had him way back here. And it's great to see that he's made it back. That is very, very cool. Let's see if there's any other of my boys still knocking around in the Posh team. I'm not recognising many. Oh, I'm saying I'm not recognising many of them. Lewis Parsons still here. 47 England caps now for Lewis Parsons. Arsenal still interested, like presumably they have been forever. But he's been there a long time. He must be getting close to due a testimonial now. A couple more years and it's testimonial time for Lewis Parsons. Love the fact that he's still there. Shola Shortire still there. 31 years old now. Never played for England, but has been a regular Posh player for 10 years. Which is great. Jack Joyce, obviously, we've already looked at. Ben Bassat's still there, but he was one of ours. There's not much in the way of my players who are still here. Zarko Kirstic is still knocking around the place as well, but I think game time looks like it's been a little bit limited for him since Joyce arrived, which is fair enough. Jack Joyce is awesome. Kirstic, not quite so awesome, but there's quite a few players who seem to have moved on. I just want to go back and check where they've gone. There's a couple of players people have asked me to check up on. The obvious one, we've got to see what Simon Patton's getting up to, because he was something of a hero, even though he was never really good enough for us in the Premier League. Let's see how his career panned out. He never left Rennes. He left Posh to go to Rennes, and he's just been a French league striker ever since. Been in the French second tier for the last 4 years. Doesn't look like he's ever likely to leave, but presumably is now Northern Ireland's all-time top scorer with 53 goals for Northern Ireland. That's some impressive stuff. But Simon Patton's had a perfectly acceptable career. The other one that we want to find is Ricky J. Jones, see whatever became of him. You can see this is where they started selling off some of our players. We're going to find out what happened to Philip the Cocu in a minute as well, see where he ended up, and presumably when Posh started playing real football again. There's Ricky. So Ricky J. Jones left to go to Arminia Bielefeld. I don't know how you say it. He went to Germany, didn't really do anything there. Went to France, didn't really do anything there. And now he's in a different part of France and he's not really doing anything there either. His career hasn't actually turned out as well as Simon Patton's did, really. Although I guess he's probably earning more money. But never really returned to the same heights he had when he first signed for us, which is a little bit of a shame. Did we get anyone else who we brought in go on leave for absolute mega money? It doesn't look like we did. I think we're now reaching the point where this is largely Koku's team, so I'm not recognising the players who are leaving. Let's see when they finally got rid of him. So Koku resigned from the role 3 years ago. Presumably to go on to something. Oh my God. If you think England's bad at the moment with 5 centre-backs in the team, can you imagine Mr. Negativity in charge? Apparently he likes a vertical tiki-taka. I'll believe it when I see it. We know this man likes a flat back 7. In fact, he was Spain manager for 2 years and then became England manager. We've got to see what formation England are using. What a shock. Actually, you know what? It's not too bad. But no room for Parsons in that team, which is hideous. Because he managed him for so long. Absolutely hideous that he's not in the side. So that's Posh. So lastly, we need to check in on whatever became of my Arsenal side. Not Arsenal. Arsenal. Arsenal have just won the Premier League again. Arsenal have won it a couple of times since I won it with them. So that was the season I won it. And then it was Chelsea, then Arsenal again, then Chelsea, Liverpool, and then Arsenal once again. So who's the Arsenal manager now? Zinedine Zidane. Did he take over directly from me? He did. So Zinedine Zidane's been there 4 years now. I bet he's higher up the favoured personnel list than I am. Of course he is. Zidane's on there. I'm not. I won 11 trophies in 3 years, and I'm not even on the favoured personnel list. I'm not upset about that. You're upset about that. I'm being so mugged off by this game this year in these kind of situations. It was the same with Leicester. Absolutely ridiculous. These clubs show no respect for me. Let's see what the team looks like now. Is it still basically my players? Ben Warren looks like he became someone quite good. 74 Wales caps. Not bad for an English wonder kid. But he's become a real key player for Arsenal over the last few years. What a signing he was. Did Rui Camara become the next Cristiano Ronaldo? Not so much. I think he would have done under my management. Miliaccio now playing in central midfield, which is an interesting one because we had a crack in central midfield. Rengifo's still there because we know how good Rengifo is. And it looks like he's carried on being pretty awesome as well. Rashevsky's still there. So these are the wonder kids that I was bringing in who they've now built a team around. Brand is still there and still playing centre-back. 100+ games for Germany now. I think I'm justified in calling him a centre-back. Interestingly, they've got a new goalkeeper, Lewis Sadler, who must have been there when I was there. I mean, he's just playing a one-off, I think. It looks like Morale is still normally the goalkeeper. But a lot of my other boys are still knocking around the place. They've got Giovanni Reina in there. But Magno, Remy, Asante are all still at the club. What I was going to say, what I wasn't seeing was Liam Delap, but here he is, age 32 now. Played far more times for England than Jack Joyce did, so maybe I got this wrong. He's about to join Inter Milan at age 32 and never really scored as many goals as Joyce. I think the England manager got it wrong. I think I was right. They were wrong. So let's try and trace what's gone on with my team being disassembled. So if we go back to my last year, which was this one, this was my last year. So who got sold immediately as soon as I left? Let's have a look. They've signed Ethan Ampadu, who I remember trying to sign for Peterborough, but he went to Southampton instead. So interesting that he's joined up with one of my teams in the end. Looks like no major signing, no major sales. I say that, it's £100 million for players gone. Diego Martinez went to Milan. Will Foster, remember him making his debut in the FA Cup final? He went to Dortmund and he's now at Porto and has played more times for England than Jack Joyce. He feels like he's one that got away, but no first teamers have left there. The following year, Leandro. Who the hell was Leandro? Don't even remember him. He was obviously there. Went to Manchester City and then on to Paris. No, was it Paris Saint-Germain or PSV? PSV seems more reasonable than PSG in the circumstances. Who else has gone? Carlos Alberto went to Porto. It looks like we're giving back to Porto, which is nice. Thiago Almada went to Lyon. Gilo went to Lille for very little money, only £11 million. They've picked, or 14 million. They've picked up a real bargain there. And then what else has gone on? I'm looking for real big top tier players leaving. It doesn't look like it really happened. It looks like by and large, the team has been pretty well kept together under Zidane, which is splendid. Pedri went to Manchester United 2 years ago for 20 million. Tamela went to Paris Saint-Germain. That's a big one. Chowalski went to West Ham for £108 million. I mean, you don't turn that down, do you? It's still only 25. That's how young he was. And then this season, most recently, Richie Gould, who broke into our first team just as I was leaving. 7 caps for England for him. Again, more than Joyce. But other than that, nothing major really. It's by and large still my boys with a few extras who've been sprinkled in over the years, but it's mainly my boys. Did they go and win the Champions League again? No, still just the one Champions League win. Let's have just quickly finish things off by seeing who has been winning the Champions League, just to see if there's anything major that's happened on there. It doesn't look like it. Since we won it, it's been PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona. So pretty much business as usual. Let's just check in with the Ballon d'Or as well, which probably isn't called the Ballon d'Or because I don't think I've got the name fix on. So it would be World Player of the World Player of the Year. I'm looking for any of my players on this really, and it looks like we're not getting any. But West Ham have got a player who's won it. Look at the chin on that boy. But he's won World Player of the Year 2 years in a row. How good are West Ham all of a sudden? They weren't this good before. They're still not a Champions League side regularly, but they've got the best player in the world playing for them. There's no logic to this. But looks like none of my boys ever made it into the top 3, really, which is a bit disappointing. I think my boys were better than that. Let's check. What's the other one? Is it World Footballer of the Year? Have we got any of my boys on here? No. Very, very disappointing. But there you have it, folks. That was Non-League to Legend 5 years later. And I think the most interesting thing from that is that for once, my teams haven't been completely deconstructed after I've left. Every single one of them is pretty much where I left them. Kettering still, they were about to get promoted to League One and they're still bouncing back and forth between League One and League Two 10 years on. Posh, we got them to upper mid-table in the Premier League and they're still there. Arsenal, we won the Premier League and they've carried on winning it. So it looks like in a big change from previous FMs, the AI doesn't completely destroy your squad when you leave and pretty much carries on the good work that you've done. So I'm pretty proud of that. All 3 of those teams have been saved as well, so they'll be part of the LOLLUJO Cup later in the year. And the only other piece of business we need is to remind you that that Arsenal shirt, I arranged the giveaway for that yesterday. So if you go back to yesterday's video, by now it should be the pinned comment at the top of yesterday's video. And there should be a reply under the pinned comment from me asking that person how I can get in touch with them and get address details and stuff. So if you entered yesterday, go back and check yesterday's video to see if you won. If no one's claimed it within a week, I'm going to go back in and pin a different one and try again. And I need to get rid of that shirt. It's stinking the place up a little bit. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.